we're going to just jump right into a lot of this stuff. One of the things that I try to do here with this is besides just doing a weather map, which can get a little boring and tedious to I think some people if you're trying to watch online with me just analyzing the map as we go, and that takes 10 or 15 minutes sometimes. Um, I do try to do something about the weather, and since we do have some active weather going on, let me just take the I gotta. Oh, I can't take that off of there yet. We will fade over to this one, and I'm going to click on here and move it back over off of the screen. So we have a pretty decent and somewhat active map going on right now. The big thing is there's an area low pressure out in this general area. We'll get to analyzing that here in a second. But I did want to show a little bit with what's happening. It's always good for a meteorologist whenever they are getting ready to analyze a map is to know what kind of happened earlier in the just prior to it. So you can get an idea, you get in your mind at least a bit of a conceptual model of how the atmosphere is looking. So one of the ways that I've done that is here's like just to show you that we had a pretty decent cold front come through yesterday. Uh, Looking at this, the blue line is the temperatures, and now I can't see what's going on OBS, so I need to move this map out of the way slightly. There we go. Um, and I think I need to move this a little bit more over this way in case I need to. Oh no, no this way. No, then that won't work. Okay, yeah, we'll just put it down towards the bottom. All right. So the blue line is the temperature. So you can see this is yesterday morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and then it starts to climb. We got to 68 in downtown Gaylord, or at least at the airport. That's pretty close. Wouldn't be surprised if a few people touched 70 yesterday at their own individual locations, especially farther downstate. I didn't actually look at what was going on. I was in the midst of getting ready to do a spotter talk during the rest of the day for the evening. Then the cold front went through, and we can see that not just from the temperature trace, but if we go back here, yesterday afternoon, I forgot this is in 5 minute 5 minute mode. Let's see, where do we go? 52. Where's this? Wait a minute. Here we go. So here we are, 68 at 2:15 p.m., and then it starts to fall. This is not typically the time that the temperatures start to fall. Temperatures usually uh, lag a little bit behind when the sun is at its warmest, or past noon. So in this case, usually it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We usually reach our highest temperature. You can kind of see it was trying to. We got to 68 degrees, and then at 2:15, something happened. We went from north to northeast wind, so there was a wind shift, and then the temperatures sort of kind of tried to stay together because the rain was in there, and then it just kept on falling. And then we just had this northeast wind. And that was after the high finally broke in here. That northeast wind was when the high pressure, the cold front went through, and that high had some northeast winds. And that mixed pretty well. In fact, got to the point where not only do we have mist, but then later that night, as I was coming back from my spotter talk in Gaylord, we got down to a quarter-mile visibility at the airport, and actually a little bit below that at times. So, yeah, it was pretty dense fog when it rolled through. It did that for a couple of hours, and then it lessened. It bounced around a little bit more overnight. It looks like, and then the real cold air started to blow in here, and then that was the west southwest winds. And I think I've just completely hosed up with what happened because my conceptual model of what happened in the in the day is not quite right. Because now I think back about the map that I looked at earlier, and we'll get a chance to look at that here in a second. It did not match up, but you can see the temperatures just kept on falling, falling, falling. There was a little bit of a surge, and then it started falling again. So this is not due to the fact that we reached our peak temperature. It's due to the fact that we had at least one cold front come through or some sort of wind shift that caused us to start getting a colder temperature. And then this may have been the actual cold front here. It's been quite a roller coaster. But here we are now in the lower 40s. So this is what we're starting to work with here. Just to show you, we do have a wind advisory up over the area, and if you just we click here on the Gaylord area, yeah, wind advisory in effect now through 8 p.m. So we have gusts in the forecast as high as 45 miles an hour. That's typically, I think it's anything over 40 or gusts of past 40 miles an hour, something like that. So 45, something like that. I can't remember the exact thing in the directive. I know that when I'm working, I usually remember all this stuff. But so here's our key messages. Southwest winds are expected 40 to 50 miles an hour for the day. So they added some wind and wave information on this update here this morning. Strong southwesterly winds. Winds will diminish tonight and pick up again on Friday, but they won't be nearly as strong. But here we're looking at, this version of yellow here, this darker shade, which is 40 to 45 miles an hour. And then off the shore here, 45 to 50 miles an hour. So even though some of the shore counties there in northern lower Michigan are going to get close to 50 miles an hour. So power outages are possible, high-profile vehicles. I haven't looked at Twitter to see if the bridge is shut down yet, but typically at least they take the high-profile vehicles off of there for a time. We are expecting some of our highest winds, and this is probably for the Traverse City area, typically where we grab this probability one. The orange is the likelihood of exceeding 40 miles an hour for a wind gust. And so we're getting into that. It's currently 11:04 a.m. So here we are right now. We're at about a 30% chance, or not quite a 30% chance as far as that's concerned. More likely that we're going to get 30 gusts past 30, which I think we've been doing. And I think if I remember right on the OBS, that's what we were doing. Our highest chance for gust to 50 is probably just a little under 10%, except if you're out there by, say, Frankfurt or Empire or someplace like that. So, but, past 40, we're expecting to get past 40 here from about, it looks like, 1 o'clock through 3 o'clock, and then winds will start to gradually ramp down. And you can see it does get gusty, but we don't expect the 40-mile-an-hour winds. There's probably, when we peak early in the day, it's going to be 40%, or not 40%. The 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, or at least past that, are going to be something close to, looks like 13 or 14%, something like that. So we're more likely to get gusts past 30. So it's still blustery, but not nearly as bad. Things will still, unsecured objects will still fly around. And then we have the high wave actions that are going on around the area. Just some of the wave heights we've got going. So this yellowish green out here, at least one of the shades of it, is 10 to 12 feet. This is 7 to 10 out here. And so we're looking at the 7 to 10s there along from about Manistee north to not quite Leland. It looks like Leland is just in the lee of some of the area there, the wind. And so we're getting some of the waves to be, that would be 5 to 7 feet. So it's still small craft. This little area in here is somewhat protected. It's 4 to 5 feet, which is still a small craft. Even in Grand Traverse Bay, although the farther south you go, the less fetch than the wind has to work on that. So we're expecting 3 to 4 footers in that area, and maybe even 2 footers down there. If this were a north wind, that would be completely different. But right now, we're dealing with west winds and west-southwest winds. So you can kind of see also then off the lakeshore here on the on Lake Huron and in Whitefish Bay, just because of the wind direction. You just don't have the fetch to get that really going. So that's kind of what we got going. So the strong winds today. So yeah, be prepared for power outages and such. Yeah, back to our map here. Oh, the one thing I wanted to take a look at, which is what I try to do. This is the 12Z analysis. It's not the interactive one, but that's okay. I can get to that one if I need to. But the initial part shows there's two lows. There's a new low forming roughly here where the triple point is. So, and then we got another low down here that's going to cause possible severe weather. I just realized, but I don't think I can get into my severe weather forecast contest that the Weather Service does account, because I have to have my access card to do it, and my computers here at home don't do this. And I don't think I can just do a login from home. So I'll have to do that at work. So today will probably be a missed day where I don't do it, but that's okay. But the one thing that I have noted is some of my old stomping grounds here in North Dakota, Bismarck specifically, where I've seen a lot of video is, and Minot, where the some of the aircraft for the cloud seeding project were based during the summertime, are just under a lot of snow, and the wind's just been blowing, and that's been for almost now 3 days. So quite a spring storm. But you know, their last big spring storm was also it was in April, about this same time frame. But I think this one broke that one's record too, from what I understand. At least that was forecasted, that much snow. So let's get into analyzing the map. You kind of got the gist of what's going on in the weather and what we're expecting over the next 24 to 36 hours, and with what's been happening. So we're going to close this. I'll leave this one up, and we will minimize it, and then we will pull in its place. Oh, come on. The one, the only. Let's see if I can expand this a bit to take up more real estate on the screen. There we go. The map that's linked to my iPad, so I can go ahead and, oops, that's not what I want to do. Start analyzing it. So we're going to take the purple off. And it looks like the center of circulation. Let's see, I did this one. So this is the 15Z map. It looks like there's a low here. That's where the main circulation is. So let's go ahead and analyze, because I think that's really what's the main thing here to get going. Try to figure out 1,000 millibars. We'll start with the thousands. And this, I am expecting to have a fairly tight gradient around these lows, just because of the fact that we are so windy right now. All right, double zeros for 1,000 millibars. All right, so maybe I'll do every 4, because this map is going to get awfully busy, and it does get quite messy sometimes when we start doing it. We get into the summer season when it's not really as bad. Warmer temperatures, we tend not to get quite as windy, because we can't quite sustain the gradient for long periods of time, because warmer air is less dense. Okay, 04. And we'll do 08. So if you've been following along with what I do, I usually analyze every 2 millibars or hectopascals. But in this case, because of the, like I said, tight gradient, it's a little harder to do that. So I'm going to do every 4. You can already see, I mean, the lines are pretty well packed around here. So I'm going to do, let's see, 12 would be the next one here. So we're going to go out here. Oops. And of course, the farther south we go, a little bit more spread out these things are. So we'll do that. So the 12, I thought maybe it was going to run up the coast, but it's not. Looks like it comes on shore somewhere out here. Guess you could almost claim that there is another low in this general area. So we'll analyze some more because these patterns are very messy. So trying to find the low center is not always the easiest thing. You can just by identifying the circulation center. There we go. Okay, there's 16. We don't get to 20. There's an 18 out there. That's fine. Let's see here. So we get another 16 on this side. $16 millibars there. Let's see here. Okay, so 20. We didn't do that as a 12. That'd be kind of weird. All right. So I think for the isobars we're done there. Oh wait, we still have to do inside the thing. So 4B96, 996. Oops, that is not correct, Jeffrey. But you're close. All right. So then 4 from there would be 992. Now that's one thing that you should understand is that the closer you get into the low, the less windy it actually gets. And I'm going to do this. Oh, yeah, that actually it's not a bad idea. This is 92. So 88 would be the next one, but it looks like the low pressure is up here. I wonder, let's try this. I'm going to get rid.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
Let's see here. Let's see here. We are. We'll do this. 92. Oops. We'll do another 92 here. All right, so we'll do one low in this area, and then we'll do another one in here. And as WPC has done, and you can kind of see the temperatures are all kind of like in the same spot. Let's take a look here real quick. I'm just going to pull up real quick. Oh, I can do this one. Oh, they did a front. And it looks like it's a... Oops. Ooh, a frontalytic occluded front. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll do some purple. There is a bit of an air mass change. I do see a little bit of a temperature difference. Now, what they've done is cold, warm, cold on the occluded front. That's probably a little, there we go. That's probably will stand out better. Doesn't look so black like the isobars. And then you can kind of see there's not a huge difference somewhere out here. Let's see. So they had that Ontario. Yeah, there's probably, the triple point's right about in this general area. So we're going to go to about here with this purple. And then we'll change it to blue. Because then it goes to 75 and, oops. And I might even have these isobars drawn just slightly off. Because I see the 45s, although that could be from the lake. Oh, here we go. Roughly in this area. Not sure about that Buffalo temperature. That could just be the fact the wind's blowing off of Lake Erie right now, and the temperatures. But the colder air is definitely coming in that way, and the warmer air is in the 70s out ahead of the front. So, and then, sorry, that's a habit I get into because my wife and I, on our Waze app, did the fun little thing of recording each other's voices for each other's wayfinding. There we go. You could argue that the warm front doesn't quite go all the way down there. In fact, WPC, looking at their analysis here, kind of has it as there's another low out in this general area, and then there's a cold front, and okay, well, that makes sense. I'm not going to quibble about that too much. Let's get rid of this one then. We'll just keep it short. Keeping the warm air boundary there. You have all these. Let's see here. We'll do yellow. Let's see if this shows up. We get. I said yellow. Come on. It's a little too thick. I need the opacity down a bit. Okay, so there's a 76, 72, and then we got 46, 46, 43 here, 50 here. This is the one I wasn't sure about, or this one, but the 53 behind it, 77 out in front. So you can kind of see the air mass change there, and that's what we had come through here yesterday. We won't see all this big snow that has happened back up in this general area in North Dakota, but we will end up with cooler temperatures, especially at night. Right now we're sitting in the 40s. I see it's in the 30s in some of these areas, 20s up there. This low, I think, let's see if I can get a real quick. Tidbits is usually a good one to show or to get to. Yeah, here we go. Tropical tidbits. So that's the 12Z, 6Z. Yeah, so they're planning on this. The models have this pretty much moving off to the northeast. So as it does, so we won't get into the real cold air that's in behind here. This whole area of low pressure is going to go. This one's going to fill. This one's going to continue, and it's going to go up into here by Moosonee and into the rest of James Bay. I'll get back to OBS so I can see, make sure what I'm transmitting here. So that's the idea here with that. All right, so I am done with the analysis. And I will send this out on my Instagram and Facebook page here a little later. Just the analyst that I did. So we will go ahead and do a done. And I will talk to you next time.